My name is Chuco Garcia. I was born and raised right here in the south side of San Antonio, Texas. And I'm a documentary filmmaker and also a motivational speaker. I'm also a liver transplant survivor of 23 years. And I just received a kidney transplant back in September of 2015. You know, I got into filmmaking just by loving the craft, man. I just love the fact that you can pick up a camera and go to a person and get them to tell their story, and people relate to it. You know, whether they don't or whether they do, they always have some sort of opinion about what the story is about. So the craft got me into it, and just wanting to tell the true life stories of my gente. You know, whatever the craft is in art, I feel it's important for the younger generation to get involved and learn about these artists such as myself, and so that they can understand that, you know, we come from the same place that they do, and we're just expressing ourselves. They can do the same thing. You know, they don't always have to be, you know, hiding behind things or not letting their emotions out. Art, letting out what you feel and what you believe in, what you like, music, clothing, what lifestyle, and everything like that, you know, and what you want to see changing in your community. By seeing us artists doing what we do, they get an idea of what they want to do in their future. I'm from San Antonio, just like you. A lot of the younger generation, you know, from the community, hopefully they relate to what I have to say from my story, and we can all do it, man. We can all be, you know, some sort of storytellers. So let's get to it. This is my documentary film, directed and edited by me and my homegirl, Destiny Mata. So let's get to it. Yo soy Chuco. Órale.
Look at Mommy. Look at me.
I think that what is different about Rob is that he sees his art as a real gift. He doesn't take it for granted. He really sees the way his art relates to his life and how that is related to his health and what he's had to overcome. That commitment is something a lot of us as artists, we take for granted. Right? We create when we have time to create, we create when it's convenient for us to create, and that's fine because we're dealing with life and that's important. You have to deal with life, right? But I feel like for Rob, this is what has to happen. His art has to happen. His video, his film has to happen.
Mi gente ha sufrido mucho, por eso le seguimos dando. Y hasta que nos llegue el día, lo vamos a seguir luchando. Mi gente ha sufrido mucho, por eso le seguimos dando. Y hasta que nos llegue el día, lo vamos a seguir luchando.
My name is Chuco Garcia. I was born and raised right here in San Antonio, Texas, you know, the south side part of town. And I'm 22 years old. I'm a local filmmaker also, and a motivational speaker. I got into motivational speaking, you know, just having the love of spreading the positivity of my life, you know what I mean? Showing that, you know, I'm a liver transplant survivor, and also I go to dialysis, you know, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And from there, you know, I just started telling my story, and people, you know, sometimes, you know, either they get moved by my story or they have good things to say, you know what I mean? You know, I was born with biliary atresia as a form of disease for the liver. And from there, you know, things went wrong, and, you know, I was on lipids for so long, and that caused me to have a liver transplant. And I had a liver transplant when I was 8 months, you know, February of '92. And, you know, out for the whole 20 years of my life, you know, I was I was on medicines I'm still on medicine, but that caused my kidneys to mess up, and from there it just kind of went downhill, you know.
Well, it was hard because it was hard for the family because Estela and my brother Robert, they were young parents and they didn't know how to deal with it, and we of course never deal with anything like that. It was something that happened to our family and our generation, but for us it was hard. Estela had to go to Houston, actually change her whole life and her career, you know. She had to start, it was like a new chapter to her. She had to go to the hospital and deal with her son and kind of like be separated from her own husband. You know, her husband had to stay out here working. She had to go to Houston with him. Her parents, my parents, will go every once in a while to go visit her, but she was content with that lifestyle that she had. She knew that that was something that she had to deal with for her son.
Since day one, actually, since I could barely start walking and talking, it was all about taking medicines. It was all about going to the hospitals, getting blood draw like every week, stuff like that. And you know, I learned at a very young age that what's good for your body and what's not good for your body, what's good to eat and what wasn't good to eat. And since then, man, you know, I learned a lot. I educated myself, or my mom would tell me, you know, mijo, you can't be eating that kind of stuff.
Bobby he was always with us, and he was always like one of the guys. And like when growing up, it was never a factor. Like he always kept up with us. Like it's almost like he didn't have a health condition at all. So like I never thought about it as a youngin. Like I never thought about like, oh, Bobby, like his health situation. We knew he had to take medicines, but it was always, every time we played around, every time we were doing something, it was just like, hey, I gotta take my medicines. He'll take his medicines, and then that was it. He'll come back and he'll play with us. And
like, you know, I've been invited to stuff like parties, get-togethers con camaradas, you know, and my mom would be like, you know, you might get sick, or you know, she was real overprotective, but at the same time, you know, I appreciate that, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be at the place I am right now and the state of mind I am right now. And so all that stuff just kept me positive, keeping me motivated to be where I'm at right now, you know, and I feel I'm in a good place right now. Right now, you know, with my health, I'm going to dialysis, you know, from 4 in the morning to like 10 in the morning, 10 a.m. And it's hard, but, you know, I keep going, moving positive, you know, moving forward with the whole struggle of needing a kidney and stuff like that. But this is the dialysis center I go to. They usually, you know, they transfuse my blood every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's a hassle sometimes, but I make it through it, and we just keep moving forward, you know, because this is part of life. This is part of my life. This is part of what it takes for me to keep living, to keep moving on, and just survive, you know. At the same time, I get to see other people, you know. I get to see the neighbors, the people on the side of me, you know. They're usually older gente, pero what we're going through is all the same, you know. No matter what age we're going through, we all feel the same. We have the same pains. You know, when we get out, you know, is where we come out really weak. We come out really tired, really just out of it. You know what I mean? You're tired. You don't want to think of nothing, right? And you know, usually when you're in dialysis, you're a dialysis patient. You know, you usually have the fistula, which they poke you, you know, with two 15 gauge needles right here in the scar area. And then they also, which I'm going through right now, is the catheter, which they have the blue and red tubes, and they plug it into right here. And you know, this is the process, man. You know, most people don't get to see what dialysis is. You know, they say, oh, well, my grandpa's on dialysis or my cousin's on dialysis, but this is the real thing. You know, that's the machine for a whole 4 hours, just sitting here, having your blood go in and out. They're cleaning your toxins, all the bad chemicals that you withheld, and you know, just everything in general. So, you know, it helps you live longer, but at the same time, you know, it takes a lot out of you. So certain people like it, some people don't, you know, but it's just a way of living, you know, it's a different way of living.